Hey everybody, so it's Nat. So I had the great pleasure of doing a interview with the campus recreation on campus here and at Georgia Southern because I don't have any experience with campus rec here. It's a fee that is not mandatory for us to pay because we're not full-time students. And so I took the opportunity to get to know campus recreation here as it is vastly different from what I'm used to at UW Oshkosh. Um, and so CRI, the that's another name for it here. They are a wonderful place, and it's just an idea of some of the things that they do. They have several different recreational programs. So they do aquatics, club sports. Um, they've got fitness. They have intramurals, golf, a shooting center, um, Southern Adventures, and wellness program. All of super great activities, and as long as you pay the fee, it's something that you get to participate in. And so I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting with and talking with America. She is the director over there. She gave me a tour of the rec, and um, it was just wonderful. So here's their mission statement. I'm not going to read it because we it's right there. But it their mission statement is pretty straightforward, and it is clear that they follow it to a T. They really care about making it the best for the students. And so this is just one of the many gyms that they have here. So this is one of the rooms that is actually a rentable room. So they have rooms that you can block off, and then there's rooms that you cannot block off and use as a private space. And so they have many of those, and they actually have three multi-purpose rooms, and this is not one of them, but it looks very similar to these, where you can do dance, martial arts, club stuff, and then there's 8 different basketball courts, free weight machines, machine weights, cardio, group exercise, just all of this really awesome stuff. And then they also have outdoor stuff like sand volleyball and like a leisure pool, whirlpool type thing. Um, and they have this beautiful space. So this is an opportunity where students can come in. They can do a fitness test, basically, see where they're at and where they should be at, and they can make goals and progress, and they can work with the different athletic trainers that are there to start meeting those goals, which is an amazing thing. Um, and so the RAC was actually built, like their first standalone facility was built in 1998. Um, I mean, campus recreation has been around for a very long time, and so, but the first building was in 1998, and with that, in 2007, they went from 80,000 to 215,000 square feet because they did an addition and just, it's massive now. So they have an injury prevention and care center, which is not something that I guess a lot of people are aware of, and it's something that they wish more people were aware of. Because it is staffed by 2 athletic trainers. They're trained to handle this sort of stuff, can tell you if you should go to the doctor or not. They are also the largest employer of students on campus, so they have 40 professional staff, 20 grad staff, and 425 student assistants, and that's a lot. I mean, this is a huge operation. Also, it's not open to the public, so someone who is a resident of Statesboro wouldn't be able to just come in and use the facility because even if they were to pay like a membership or something, that's not an option because this facility is meant for the students who pay the fee. Even athletes don't get to use this space. Athletes have their own training facilities. The only athlete or the only team that gets to use this space is the women's swim team because of the pool. And so there's a condition room, which is used for actually the PE classes. And then there's a high and low ropes challenge. There is a dry sauna. They have 70 acres of green space. And so it's just, there is an enormous amount of space. and they clearly have the staff to back it up. So some interesting things. So campus recreation on this campus specifically, and actually in general, I mean, it provides more space to do things. So there are rooms that people can book to come in and hold meetings or to do programs, and they also just contribute to the overall wellness on campus. Um, and so there is what makes Georgia Southern different from other recreation on different campuses is that there is a commitment to core values within this university. They value everything so much and want to do the best that they can for these students. Um, as for challenges that they face, and this is something that has changed over time, um, in the field, it's space and funding, and so it's just making sure that you have that space to expand and do these things, but also having that money to do these things, because without the funding, you can't hire as many staff and so forth. Departmentally, it's enrollment, because it is a student-funded building, and so to keep things up to standards, they need the student funding, and without the student funding, then they can't keep things up to standards. And so, something that I found really interesting, their starting salaries, entry level, which is a master's preferred but not a requirement, um, is 35,000 to 37,000. An associate director can make an assistant director can make 42 to 48,000. An associate director is anywhere from 55 to 65, and a director, which is actually America's position, is 65 to 80. That's huge considering the field that I'm used to, where it's a little bit less than that. So as for the CAS standards, that America actually had the specific ones for the student rec, which is they need to enhance the mind, body, and spirit. And so there's this whole list. It is several pages of questions that the rec needs to go through, and meet these standards. Like, are they implementing their mission? Is their mission statement consistent? Are they making sure that they're promoting student learning and development outcomes that are purposeful and holistic? Outcomes that are going to prepare students for satisfying and productive lifestyles. So it's all of this stuff combined. And honestly, I was just so impressed with the rec. I was so interested in talking about it, I forgot to change pictures. This is more stuff that is available for students to use. I actually felt bad for not paying the fee, because this is something that is so incredible and available to us that is something that I wish that I would actually take advantage of. This room is really great because it's one of those rooms that you're allowed to book a space. And in the back you can see there's like a screen that is currently up, but that is a huge projector screen that you can play movies on. You can have movie nights in there. This is actually the room where they do Operation Move-In for housing. And this is part of their outdoor activities. This is some of the stuff that you are able to rent. It doesn't even have to be renting for the university. It could be renting because you want to go kayaking for a day. And they will tell you to pull up. They'll put the kayak on your car and off you go. They'll even give you some tips and tricks on different places that you could visit that would be best for going kayaking if you're really that interested in going kayaking. And so just all in all, I think, I learned a lot because they have a wellness center, which is underutilized, because, there's also a wellness center with the counseling center. And so it's one of those like hidden away services, and that's something that America wishes that they could change. There's a lot of wonderful aspects about campus recreation, and I really learned a lot through this experience.